If I say that Joker is a comedy, do you believe it? If I say that Joker is actually the son of Thomas Wayne, the real brother of Batman, do you believe me? If I say that Arthur has no fantasy, he just had a relationship with his neighbor Sophie, do you believe me? If I say that Joker killed his mother because of true hatred, do you believe it? If you believe it, do you think you have never seen the Oscar-winning Joker 2019? Let me tell you the truth about Joker. Why do we feel sympathy when we know he is a bad guy? The director, Todd Phillips, is best known for his trilogy of Hangover movies. Why should I introduce the director? Because he is a master of comedy and suspense, and is particularly good at luring the audience with suspense. For example, the frame composition in the car window and the bright and dark lights and the main character walking into the large exposure area, etc. Although the tactics used many times but can always see the surprise. Joker's first keyword: depressing. The first 2/3 of the movie Gotham City, whether indoor or outdoor, makes people look very depressed and uncomfortable. This is because the director has added a layer of blue to all scenes. Gotham City before the color palette is this cold blue-gray color, representing the social indifference of the world. Secondly, the suffocating sense of space. The term called deprivation of white, that is, whether indoor close-up or outdoor panoramic views are crowded and narrow clutter. The purpose of doing so is to set up the inner emotions of the protagonist Arthur. He is a small person surviving at the bottom of society. He is always bullied, but his job is to play Joker to make others happy. This is also a metaphor for a deeper level of depression is his split personality, dual personality. Yellow represents the gentle but cowardly Arthur. Red represents the crazy and violent Joker. Arthur must do everything possible to suppress this Joker personality. Otherwise, it will hurt the people around him. This psychological pressure makes his life even worse. The details of the opening scene. His right hand pressed the mechanism to make the chest flowers spray water. This is a small trick when the Joker actor performs a show. Here becomes a heartbreaking desire to cry. Why the emphasis on the right hand? Here the director gave an important clue. The one who uses his right hand is Arthur's personality. Joker's personality is left-handed, whether writing or shooting with his left hand. Joker's second keyword: laugh. The first scene is Arthur laughing. Here many people think that Arthur is suffering from pathological mental illness. In fact, laughing is the nature of Joker personality. Every time Arthur laughing is about to suppress Joker personality. That is, Joker is about to control the body of the critical point. But not every laugh Joker will appear. How to tell the difference depends on his left and right hand expression and walking posture. After the opening scene laughing, his left hand smoking. This is Joker. His smile is confident and eerie. The detail is that both hands are playing back and forth on the legs trying to suppress each other. After a few words, he touches his head with his right hand. Arthur took back the control of the body. From the lines can also get a clue. Arthur and Joker, two personalities, have relatively independent memories. There are some common memories stored in the body memory, but the important information about each exists on their own memories. After understanding these, we can first crack the mystery of Joker's birth. Compared to the cold tone of the whole Gotham City, only the home is warm. Mother and son depend on each other. Even if the economic conditions are poor, mother and son also have to give each other humble food. Arthur helped his mother to take a bath and she called him by his nickname Happy. Such a good relationship between mother and son. Why Arthur will finally kill his mother, even if it is Joker's personality to kill. What is the motive? Joker's third keyword: gentleman. It all started when Arthur peeked at his mother's letter to Thomas Wayne, and then the mother told the truth. She had worked as a maid in Wayne's house for 12 years and later fell in love with Wayne. Arthur was the illegitimate son of Gotham's wealthy Thomas Wayne. The mother and son were kicked out of the Wayne house to keep their high society reputation. But this truth was not shared by the Wayne family. Both the housekeeper and the Waynes themselves denied and unified that Arthur's mother, Penny, was delusional. Arthur was only Penny's adopted child. Is Thomas Wayne's story credible? On the TV news, he called the three hoodlums in the subway the elite of society just because they were employees of his company. But he calls Arthur, who was beaten in defense and killed the three hoodlums, a piece of shit. And his assessment of himself as a successful man who started with nothing. He went out of his way to lie to maintain his image of high society. How could he admit that he had illegitimate children? So the butler's words are not credible either. The strongest evidence is the love letter written by Wayne on the back of this photo of his mother Penny. Compared to Penny's own handwriting, this is a man's handwriting. In this way, it is not difficult to explain. If the mother Penny is mentally ill, it is impossible to work in Wayne's house for 12 years as a maid. If it is after the detection of paranoia, as a mental patient, she is not eligible to adopt a child. but also so many years to live with this child. Let's move on to the evidence hospital file. Although Arthur was abused by his stepfather when he was a child, the photo still shows that he looks almost identical to the current little Batman Bruce Wayne. When Arthur first saw the little Batman, they both wore the same color clothes. The director was hinting that they were real brothers. And Mother Penny's delusional case was fabricated by Thomas Wayne with money and power in order to maintain his social image. The next clue is so subtle that it may turn everyone's perception of Joker upside down. That is, Arthur or Joker's motive for killing his mother. The case can be faked. The photo is real. The memories of the mother's face is also real. That is to say, as a child, Arthur and his mother Penny were indeed domestic violence by his stepfather. The Inquisitor's questions to Penny. Penny acquiesced. She also said that Arthur was a child who never cried and was always happy, so she gave Arthur the nickname Happy. Memories of Arthur in the corner looking at his mother's eyes. It is clear that this is not Arthur. This is Joker personality. He listened to his mother admit that his stepfather abused him when his eyes full of hatred. Then the answer is out. Joker is Arthur's first personality. He grew up being abused, and when he could not bear it, he split his second personality Arthur. Arthur's personality is submissive, does not cry, only laugh. So Arthur's personality is pathological, was created by Joker. Joker is hiding behind Arthur's personality, slowly growing real personality. Arthur has been protecting Joker, and Joker grew up hating the whole world. The origin of his hatred is his mother Penny's indulgence of his stepfather's abuse. Although his mother may have had her own suffering, Joker would not consider it. He was self-centered. When Joker awakens, he can call his mother by her name and tell her what he has really been thinking for years. Right-handed writing is Arthur. Left-handed is Joker. Giggling is Arthur. Laughing is Joker. Timid and self-conscious expression is Arthur. Confident and cunning is Joker. Running silly forward is Arthur. The footsteps firm while running and watching is Joker. And the most important, yellow clothes is Arthur. Red clothes is Joker. There is another color is blue clothes. It only appears in Arthur's fantasy. Arthur and his mother watching talk shows. He imagined himself on the Idol Murray's talk show wearing blue clothes, representing Arthur's hope and gray-blue Gotham City style blend into one to get social recognition. He hopes to have the opportunity to stand on the colorful stage. Unfortunately, the fantasy will eventually be disillusioned. But the blue dress is the fourth keyword to crack the truth of Joker. Love important clues. Every time Arthur goes home, he has to climb this gloomy staircase. Again, metaphorically speaking, he is the lowest class of society. But into the elevator, this warm light is definitely something good is coming. Sophie's gesture of suicide is a joke, representing her confession of hardship in life. Arthur has a crush on Sophie, but he has low self-esteem and is afraid to express it. The left-handed Joker is the one who takes the initiative to say hello in response to the neighbor's joke. The next day, of course, Arthur did not have the courage of Joker to confess his feelings. He just followed Sophie. In front of Sophie's bank at work, Arthur tangled to go in, and then very suddenly jumped directly to the next scene. This is actually the key turning point in Arthur's love story. This is also I want to prove that Arthur and the female neighbor Sophie is really in love, and not fantasy evidence. There is a movie database website called IMDb, which is the authoritative website for movie creators to enter movie information. It has a sub-database called IMSDb, where you can download the original script of the movie uploaded by the director. In scene 31 of the script, there is indeed a scene between Arthur and Sophie in the bank. Sophie also lost her job because her boss harassed her. Why did the director cut the emotional scene between Arthur and Sophie? Because then the plot is an open-ended suspense chapter. The director used to let the audience to imagine different endings, and each ending must be justified. Todd Phillips in the Hangover series always play this way. But that's why I said the blue dress is a key clue. Because the script also does not specify that Arthur sought his mother's case in the hospital. In the hospital, his clothes yellow jacket and red sweater with, indicating that at this time, the two personalities have been in the integration of. Before we argued that after reading the case Joker personality awakened and began to dominate Arthur. He went to his girlfriend Sophie's house. Sophie said she did not know him. So the audience felt that Arthur and Sophie before dating and falling in love are his fantasy. Then rewind and watch. Arthur went to Sophie's house to touch the painting on the wall. The color of this cuff sweater is not red. It is blue. He did not change his clothes between the hospital and Sophie's house. And if love is a fantasy, then Arthur should never enter Sophie's room. Why is the room in his fantasy exactly the same as the real Sophie's house? Get it? Here is indeed a fantasy. But it is an illusion created by Joker's personality to make Arthur think his girlfriend does not know him. Then the only right-hand gun action in the whole film. Arthur wiped out his own personality dominance in the world of consciousness. And from then on he stood behind Joker. The expression of unrequited love as if to Joker personality said, "My life is a tragedy. Your life is still a comedy. From now on to you." At this point Joker completed the official awakening, returning to the dominant position of the first personality. Joker personality awakened after Arthur personality did not disappear. This is Joker's fifth keyword: integration. Joker is the first personality. Arthur is only the second personality that Joker created to share the pain of childhood. The threshold of switching between the two personalities is laughing. If not controlled, Arthur will become Joker after laughing. Arthur is the left brain, so control the right hand and do things on the rational side. Joker is right-brained, so control the left hand, do things according to the feeling. Director Todd Phillips is a master of suspense comedy. This setting is fully consistent with human physiology. Does each of us have an Arthur and a Joker living in our bodies? In short, Joker wants to get a complete memory and the right and left hands to play freely with the perfect body. He cannot kill Arthur, must be integrated with. And the premise of integration is mutual understanding and mutual acceptance. This process is reflected in the 4 performances on the same stage. The first stage is the living room elevator at home. After meeting the female neighbors in a joint pickup operation, Arthur and Joker begin to try to talk to each other. The TV in the living room plays the 1937 Broadway masterpiece By a Stair, Shall We Dance? And Arthur dancing topless with a gun is a tribute to 1970's Excess Taxi Driver, directed by Martin Scorsese. A tribute to both films, suggesting that Joker's personality loves to dance and is violent, and a metaphor for the second half of the film. A bunch of masked Joker in the subway cannot distinguish the real from the fake. Look at this shot. It's not a misfire. It's a left-handed Joker shot. Two personalities simply cannot communicate. Arthur low self-esteem, cowardly and tangled, while Joker is unpredictable and violent. But at least this is the first conversation between the two personalities in years. The second stage is in a public bathroom. Arthur is bullied by 3 hooligans on the subway, and Joker's personality appears and kills all 3 of them. The dance he does in the mirror at this point is a calming of his inner tension, a deep communication between the two personalities. Arthur seems to understand the intention of Joker. He thanked Joker can protect him, but Arthur is very confused, do not know where to go. The third stage is a small theater dating Sophie. This time, the costumes and lighting can already be seen. Arthur and Joker is the same stage performance. Yellow and red with the clothes. Yellow and red lights dotted with glow. Arthur laughing nervously, reflected in the shadow on the wall as if Joker was cheering him on. Jokes are not funny but use 2 voices. This is the brotherhood of the same stage. Arthur began to accept Joker's concept. Joker began to understand Arthur's dream. Unfortunately, whether it's love or actor's dream, Arthur's everything is finally broken by Joker. To be exact, it should be awakened by Joker. Arthur knew that he was the second personality created. It was time to return the body to Joker, and it was time to end this bad life. He read the words that Joker wrote in his diary. That was Joker's call to Arthur. The fourth stage is the dance that they celebrate at home after killing their mother together. This big backlight is commonly called angel light in movie terms, used to show heroes and victory. But here the angelic light is splendidly sprinkled on the body of the devil. Joker's last keyword: comedy. Arthur and Joker fused perfectly, sharing memories, sharing bodies, and accepting each other. Joker was reborn. This is a disaster for Gotham City, but for Joker this is indeed a happy thing. So after 1/3 of the movie, the director removed all the blue tones to increase the white space, because Joker's world becomes brighter and more open. His left and right hands can be used freely, which is the ultimate completion of Joker. He threw away his mother's photo and said goodbye to his past self. His biggest wish now is to get revenge and rehearse it as a comedy. In preparation for Murray's talk show, everyone thought he was trying to kill himself on the show, so he rehearsed. I think this just represents the determination of Joker and Arthur to go to revenge together. Before, Joker's personality has many scenes of implied suicide. In fact, it just means that Joker's personality itself is crazy and brutal. But he's not stupid. He's going to do something big, not such a foolish thing as suicide. This hint of suicide, in fact, the director has greater ambition. So the real rehearsal is the arrival of these two colleagues. First, look at the details. Lock the door. Joker is worthy of the cunning master of crime. He says he's off his medication and feels good. He's celebrating the death of his mother. This is not even a rhetorical statement. It's a true statement. He knew very well that his colleague came to him to clear his name from the subway murder. The gun was given to him by this colleague, and he set him up to lose his job. Look at this composition. That is, the director has long implied that this is not only the dividing line between warm and cold tones, but also between good and evil. The rehearsal of the villain is about to begin. The left hand holds a cigarette butt and draws a signature smiley face on the wall. This smiley face later becomes the nightmare of Batman. He then used his right hand to kill his unsuspecting colleagues with scissors. The first revenge is also the final rehearsal before the appearance of Joker. He let the midget go. Some say it is the embodiment of Arthur's good personality. In fact, after the fusion of Arthur and Joker, there is no longer a separate personality. This is just to show that Joker does not kill innocent people indiscriminately. The people he killed were his enemies who had bullied him and hurt him, as I said before, including his mother. Before leaving the house, there is a scene was deleted by the director in the official release version. I also found the script. That is, he put a bouquet of flowers on Sophie's door. This is to show that he did not kill Sophie, also announced that belonged to Joker's comedy to be officially staged. The next dance down the stairs let Gia Cohen Phoenix acting skills sealed. Bright sunshine, open view. Enjoying the expression and professional dance completely echoes the opening of the tragic back of Arthur upstairs. Jack Phoenix used his performance to interpret laughter to a divine level. Crying and laughing, giggling, laughing, laughing, laughing. And at this point really happy laugh. At this point, even though the audience knows that Joker is going to do bad things, but instead began to empathize with him. Rehearsals are over and the colorful stage is in sight. The comedy is about to begin. Joker didn't know that after this comedy, in the name of revenge, he would become a century-long enemy of his own brother Bruce Wayne, the Batman. The show's flamboyant entrance and the recklessness afterwards. A moment of silence after taking his seat. Joker was enjoying it all. Although he knows that everyone is laughing at him, he still enjoys it. He asked everyone if they had ever given a shred of respect to the lowest strata of society. He admits to being the killer of the subway. He also said that because the high society Thomas Wayne spoke up for the three men, people would think that the three scumbags were innocent and the killers were guilty, and that right and wrong were judged by the rich and powerful, and that the lives of the little people were worthless. In the end, he said, "My life is a comedy." This comedy is a real black humor because of the suicide hint that has appeared many times before. In fact, it is also a tribute to the 1976 Taxi Driver directed by Martin Scorsese. But the actor who played Travis the cab driver more than 40 years ago is the same actor who now plays Murray the talk show host, Robert De Niro. 40 years ago, the same small man on the margins of society, but can stand up for justice and fight the powerful. 40 years later, he became a representative of the powerful who bullied the weak and ended up being taken away by another small person with a gun. A line of self-fulfillment makes this comedy across the century reincarnation of history before all the suicides. What is really implied and metaphorical is the self-destruction of the little man. No matter whether they are resigned to the status quo or strive to move up the ladder, they are all doomed in the end. The comedy ends with Joker's smile and the crowd screams. The street Joker dances on the police car, trampling on the hypocritical justice. Like a dark hero, he finally has the stage and audience he has always dreamed of. On the surface, this is still a comedy. The director used sound and light colors to make the ritual full. I would like to give a more darkly humorous scenario. Imagine if a sniper rifle suddenly hit Joker's head from afar when it looks like he has become the hero of Gotham City. Would they be quiet for him? Would they shed tears for him? Will they scatter and leave? Will someone take revenge on Joker? I don't think so. They will just continue to vent their frustration with life in a frenzy. They will continue to shout at the direction of the sniper bullets. Then the person who killed Joker with the sniper rifle will become the next hero. So Joker is not a cult leader, and he doesn't have followers. Everyone only cares about themselves. After the hullabaloo, the biggest comedy point comes: the psychiatric hospital, where he receives counseling from a doctor. The clock at 11:11. What do you think of? It's a lot like the opening scene, isn't it? Yes, this is the real world. The whole movie is a joke that Joker plays on the doctor and on the audience. I think I felt better when I was locked up in the hospital. He just knew the news about the riots in Gotham City and the murder of Thomas Wayne, so he imagined himself involved in it and became a hero. So in the imaginary world, time always stands still at 11:11. The bloody footprints immediately afterwards indicate that he killed the Black Doctor. But the only person who came after him in the mental hospital was a staff member in white overalls, not even a police officer. If he was really the trigger of the riot, the guards would be so lax? See the end. Do you feel that the director in Joker played 2 hours? Let's review the jokes Joker told on Murray's talk show.
Knock, knock.
Who's there?
It's the police, ma'am. Your son's been hit by a drunk driver. He's dead.
No, you
That's
cannot
not
joke
funny,
about that.
Arthur. That's not the kind of humor we do on this show.
The host Murray guests the audience of all people. They just finished showing Arthur's video, taking his scars and pain as a joke. They had just finished laughing but immediately turned back to Arthur and accused him. How can you make fun of someone's pain? That's the real comedy. Because the paradoxical jokes happen all around us every day. The comedian Chaplin once said that the world is a mirror and it laughs when you laugh.